Badgers, yeah.
It's a weird one, but now
And
he has
that
a great
was
lineup.
open qualifiers as well.
Yeah,
Like bring your own computer type of
right.
thing.
Yeah, he went through that one with
Yeah.
5 suites or 4 suites.
Yeah.
But
We
now,
are in the draft, by the way, guys.
His new lineup, I think there's obviously so much talent on the Escape roster. They have Casio on the offlane, upcoming player, just needs time and confidence. I think he can be a lot better.
He hasn't even played Dota for a year.
Really?
He started in February or January, something like that. He came from Han. He played a lot of Han.
Right.
And I think at some point he made it to the DreamLeague finals last season.
Yeah.
And then I remember him tweeting saying, "Oh, I'm already going to a Dota LAN even before I would have gone to a Heroes of New Earth LAN if I would still play Heroes of New Earth." But he was making it that far. He made it to TI within half a year. That's crazy.
And then the best player right now to me is definitely Yapso. Just standout performance game after game. Very, very, very high level stuff that he performs with every time. I think Europe has just produced some amazing 4 or 5 positions over the past 2 years. You know, Crit and Sai, obviously. In EG, we've seen JRX, I think, was one of the biggest players last year. And definitely has the potential to be so
DC,
this year as well.
Misery, and Saxa.
Yeah, Misery and Saxa, obviously.
All the NA teams are picking up European 4 and 5 positions.
With good reason.
So we are in the draft. The opening has been done. At Finem will be Dire side. They picked up Shadow Demon and Darkseer, and then Escape Gaming went for the Luna and the Ogre. And the Bounty Hunter and the Bat is banned by Escape together with the Sven. What do you think about these openings so far?
Similar to what we saw at the major qualifier. So we kind of thought maybe Finem would go a different direction, try a few new things up. Maybe that happens later in the draft, but the first pick, Shadow Demon, Escape then kind of picked the Luna with an Ogre. Doesn't seem all too different from Finem. And then they picked the Darkseer because Skylark's other hero, the Bat's been banned out. Those are like his 2 main heroes, is Bat and Darkseer.
Yeah.
And you sort of have to, right? We've seen a lot of teams run this. Actually, Luna didn't have the biggest win rate. She was almost 50% in the major qualifiers. But I just think with Shadow Demon, there's this peak point in the game where it's just so hard to do anything. We also saw, was it in the NA qualifier? We saw Team Unknown. Despite playing up against this Siren Sand King Warlock combo, they just ran in with the Luna anyways, realizing that while the teamfight would be going on in the base of complexity, the Raxus would go down just by the glaives bouncing around, despite hitting heroes and such. Yeah. So definitely a combo that you need to be very mindful of.
Yeah, I love the Shadow Demon against Luna pickup actually. Make it work against her. I'm not a fan of Luna itself.
No?
She doesn't really. She likes to push towers. She doesn't like to fight that much.
You lose a lot to her in pops, don't you?
Probably. Actually, no. In
you
pops,
lose with her when no one's playing with Luna.
Yeah, because he tries to fight.
Yeah. Just fight. Yeah.
No, I don't think Luna's not picked up that in pops that much. Yeah. I think.
No, it's true. It's true.
People prefer to
Slark.
pick Drow Ranger and Slark and Sven and
Bloodseeker jungle.
Juggernaut. No Bloodseeker jungle. No, please no. Okay, so Escape Gaming, in terms of going for cores or going for maybe even, because for supports that Cinnamon plays, does he play the Ogre or is Yaptor the Ogre?
Historically, I think it's been Yapso. That being said, they can obviously both play it.
Yeah.
With all due respect to both the hero and the people playing it, it's not the hardest hero to play.
It's pretty easy. It's kind of like playing Drow, you know. That's I always say about Drow as well. It's like anyone can play a Drow.
Yeah, it's more about like with Ogre especially. It's a lot down to your movement and how to especially maximize his efforts in the very early stages of the game.
Yeah.
I do think it's going to be Yapso playing it now that Cuddle has been picked up.
The Io pick's kind of cool for Finem because normally they I don't think I've seen much of the Io with Shadow Demon because Spartan will play the Shadow Demon, but he's also the Io player. So I guess I'll put MNT on probably the SD since the Io is the higher.
But they've been overlapping historically as well. Heroes from ever since they started the team basically. Back when they played a lot of Rubik as well, it's been both of their go-to heroes. So it's no surprise. Shadow Demon is one of those heroes that most support players should know regardless of their role. Whereas Wisp is more of a niche hero.
Yeah, your team has a specialist for the Io typically.
Very high skill ceiling, and we saw Spartan with the IO during the qualifiers. It was some great stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Very flashy play. Talking about flashy play, is this going to be a flashy Timbersaw? Is this going to be an offlane Timbersaw? You guys with Timbersaw? rather than quickfire one.
I mean, at this point, it could be either, really. Like, you wait to see what the last 2 picks are for Ad Finem, because Escape have last pick of the draft, so if anything, they're thinking, if we get a good mid matchup, run it mid. If not, run it off
I think
lane.
it's likely to be an off lane.
Now that the OD is picked up, for sure, I think. Do you want to run a Timbersaw against an OD? Is that?
Probably not.
No, you don't. You don't. Definitely don't want to.
And there's not much synergy with the Ogre, like the Bloodlusting a Timber, that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, they'll probably something we've seen. Syndrome was actually one of the first people to introduce the sniper again. We might see it. It's been picked up against the OD quite a lot. Then again, I think it's potentially a bit too greedy with the lineup they have, running both the Luna and the sniper. That being said, it's a lot of tower pushing,
Yeah.
and there's a severe lack of AoE outside of the Darkseer right now on Ad Finem, so that team fighting will have to be bound together with this last pick, which is
Dara's here.
the carry. So
Yeah.
it's
Sven's already banned out. He would have
Escape
been
might
great.
actually be able to push them down pretty easily.
5 seconds remaining.
Would you want which core from Adara would you look for here? Is it like
Reserve time.
is it a Juggernaut?
Something that can go with the
Type of
Darkseer, like fighting style carry would be good, but Ursa gets taken out,
Yeah.
Sven's taken out.
Yeah, some
Not
good
sure.
bans right now from Escape.
What are your tiny, your classic Iapan is still available, but
That's true.
Juggernaut.
Yeah, Juggernaut's still in the pool. I like your hat, Gods, by the way. And the zoom up, it's pretty.
It is pretty.
It's a life stealer. How could I forget
Right.
about that hero?
classic. Yeah.
Gaming's turn to
Alchemist was the last ban as well.
I don't think Lifestealer is particularly good against anything on Escape right now. But it is an all-around just solid hero in this meta, and something a lot of teams
10
use,
seconds
obviously.
remaining.
It's pretty interesting mechanics with the Wisp that they can go 3 people rather than
5
just 2
seconds remaining.
in the relocate ganks.
Get the accept, but then you go 4. Can you go
Right.
4?
Yeah.
With the assimilate, whatever it is.
So, in terms of heroes that lane against OD,
5 seconds
obviously still have
remaining.
Razor in the pool.
Dragon Knight.
That was a Dragon Knight though, instead. What do you make of that?
Just pretty safe mid laner. Doesn't lose his lane hard. He's not
No,
gonna
he
win
doesn't.
it,
But
he's-
it's a pretty tough game for him, regardless, though. Just because both OD and Lifestealer, he has a high armor, but it's still two heroes that on paper should be pretty decent up against a Dragon Knight. And then you have the Demonic Purge. It's really a big killer of such a hero. So
Okay. Who do you think is going to win now that you've seen the draft?
I actually prefer Escapes with proper execution
Okay.
and a slight early game lead if they can manage to play around the Wisp, not get ganged out too much and so forth. I think they'll be able to capitalize on their gold lead through tower pushing, because they are not likely to lose towers themselves.
I'm actually going to agree. I think the DK plus Luna is actually just going to take towers really fast. They don't have
And they
good
have
deep
couple
push.
to easily depush, and there's only a Shadow Demon really, because Iron Shell doesn't do anything, and neither does Vacuum with this particular lineup.
Well, I don't really want to go up against 2 experts.
Do it, Shiva.
Do it.
But
Challenge
I
us.
think at Finn, go Greeks,
They won the qualifiers.
I'll be fogged in this one. Fogged would have said go Greeks.
I think he's like more Peruvian than he's Greek.
Go Greeks! Let's head it over to our commentators, which is, by the way, you, because you're going to run, and Odie Pixel. We'll see you after the game.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the ASUS ROG DreamLeague casting desk. I'm Odie Pixel. I'm here with Gods. We're ready to take you through the first series of the day. It is, of course, Escape Gaming going up against Finem. The game starts, so let's get ourselves into it. And, well, we've already kind of heard your opinions on the draft over the board, but I'll have to wait a second before I ask you for any further things, because Finem, they're losing a hero. MNT up top, ganked and taken down by the 5-man of Escape Gaming. So, yeah, Gods, what are you looking forward to seeing this game from these drafts?
Good stuff for Escape. I want to see some good fighting, because Escape are going to be looking to be pushing down lots of towers. I hope Ad Finem take the approach. Let's just fight, go for kills, forget about trying to trade towers or trade for farm. I want to see them just full on 5-man defend those towers and try and take on the Luna plus DK.
Well, in terms of lanes, it does look like Escape Gaming are going to be running their tri-lane aggressively with the Luna, like we see a lot of teams kind of prefer to do, and put it head-to-head with what looks to be indeed just the safe lane tri-lane at the moment from Finem, having the SD, the Lifestealer, and Spartan, I guess, for the time being, he will hang around mid. See that Thug gets a good start up against Koifa, which I guess you'd imagine the OD would have anyway, so I guess it's just Finem looking to entirely bully Koifa out of this lane, or what's the plan?
It's... DK should do all right. I guess the challenge is getting that level 2 already. You can see Koifa is trying to just chase away the IO. He's not really missing much XP or CS since the wave's about to push out. So Koifa, if anything, is going to do just fine, despite this being a dual lane. I think the plan is more like for Finem, it's like, where else is the IO going to go? He's not going to be able to help against a tri-lane. Darkseer wants solo XP. There's no other real place for the IO to be, so the most helpful place he can find himself is that mid lane.
What's the deal with this lane down bottom, this Timbersaw versus Darkseer matchup? Is there expected to be an edge either way here?
It's Darkseer favored, definitely. But Escape willingly gave Timbersaw a bit of a tough 1v1 matchup just because they want to try and win the off lane and even slightly win mid with the Ogre's presence. So they've actually rotated Ogre in to try and help out Quick for as much as possible. And Timbersaw should do well enough against a Darkseer. It's not too big a deal.
CS-wise in the mid, 7 for 2 on Thug, 7 for 0 on Quakefa, so it's relatively close indeed, but the backup Quakefa receives from Ogre's rotations. YapzOr doing his best indeed, as you said, just to help out against this IO OD lane. And up on top, Luna at the moment 12 for 1, and in comparison to the Lifestealer 6 for 0, so Era certainly having the better time here up against Madara at the moment with this aggression that they're running. In fact, well, 2 minutes in, looking towards the top rune spot where we're going to see a bit of a fight kick off. They're trying to go in onto MNT, but they do have the 3-man here of Finem. Thug coming across as well. Quakefa just manning up and smacking into them here with the sword. And looks like they're trying to take down YapzOr, but with Sin there as well, Spartan has to be relatively careful. He's at the moment just looking to kind of block up YapzOr, but looks of it with the illusions. But no one to fall there. Everyone survives, and Quakefa and Thug just back to laning in the mid lane. Thug still with Spartan sticking around, whereas YapzOr, he's had to head back. It looks like he's going to kill himself, as he did fall pretty low there in that fight.
He's had enough of that, and we'll reset things up. Top lane, it looks like those are open wounds. They're just being harassed down a bit. Madara able to do a bit better in lane now that the supports have been kept busy.
Yep, Era in a lot of trouble there potentially. One more touch from Madara with him, but he can't quite get it off, and now he's in trouble. He's already used the rage. They're just going to turn, elusive beam from Era, and Escape Gaming take the kill. Second one in so far. And yeah, just frustrating for Alpha. They nearly had that with the Lifestealer, but the turnarounds there. And Madara proving to have a very tricky time up on this top lane. 9 for 1, falling behind. He's gone down, and Era taking the lead in CS.
Yeah, it felt like the lane was starting to finally go better because of all the action at the top rune and mid. Yeah. And then he gets too aggressive going for a kill and completely throws away that stability that he'd found in the laning stage. So Finem, if they get that kill, like, of course it's worth it, and that's where Luna had the sick charges which were able to kind of keep her alive, but still a tough one for Finem, given the nature of how badly that top lane is going so far.
Spartan getting very close to dying there. I was able to tether away. Yep, so back towards the mid lane. Looks to bully Thug. Thug falling low, but has the confidence of his IO player behind himself at the ready.
Cancel that. Not going to get a chance to.
Yeah, couldn't quite get the chance to throw the Ignite down. All things said and done, across the map, down bottom, the matchup going pretty evenly. Both heroes, Kezu and Skylight, getting the farm. No one falling behind here. The Iron Shell spam proving to not be too much for Kezu to deal with. I guess he can burst down the creeps and such.
From keeping an eye on the CS early on, Darkseer was well ahead the first couple of waves, but it looks like Kezu, now that he's got the 3 points in reactive armor, he's doing much better because he's got that regen. He actually is tanking Iron Shell, and with 3 reactive armor plus Quelling Blade, he's actually holding his own as far as farming in this lane. Missed Timber Chain, unfortunately, but not sure that was going to be a kill anyways.
Could be in a little bit of a trouble now. Spartan's coming in with the balls now. Looks to chase down Kezu. He's got the 1 Timber Chain. Skylark looking to continue to chase. Searches out Spartan so they could continue to get the right clicks in, but indeed, just with this, as you said, 3 points in reactive armor. He's
25
fine.
HP regen a second. He's more than okay here. If anything, he's the one who can pose a threat to get some kills.
Yeah, nearly level 6. Has the Mango ready to boot as well if he sees an opportunity to turn on Finem. Mid lane still. again, even pretty much a little edge for Thug, has the slight edge in denies, but they're going to make a go on him. YapzOr, Koifer, and Sin coming in with the Illuminate. Nicely done there as they burst down Thug in the mid lane. Pick up the 3rd kill so far this game. Escape Gaming, where it may be close in terms of CS, they're definitely coming out on top of just getting the rotations down. There'll be a bit of a go on to error now. Finem realizing there is an opening error. Is he going to survive? He has 5 stick charges. He is going to pop them. It's not enough. As the poison comes through, MNT will take the kill. Finem getting themselves on the board and just abusing the fact that so much was going down in the mid lane. They knew that Era wouldn't have the backup.
Yeah. It's been pretty good at movement from Escape, like ganking the mid lane when they saw the higher bottom, but then had Finem do the same thing. Oh, the supports aren't here anymore. Let's get a kill up top on the solo Luna. So both teams making a good movements as far as recognizing when supports are missing, when carries are being unprotected. OD goes down, Luna goes down. Pretty even trade as far as those 2 players are concerned. Will be KheZu finding Luna now down bottom, which means KheZu kind of has to go to the off lane or rotate out of the lane. And one of the unfortunate things with this build, as much as it allowed him to go even on CS, he's not the best as far as ganking and rotating goes, has no points in Whirling Death, just the 2 in Timber Chain. His damage output isn't all that impressive.
Down bottom as well. As soon as the lane switch happens, Finem going rather aggressive in onto Era. Won't be able to dive. Sin TP's down. Backup will be there for Escape Gaming. And yeah, leaving the top lane at the moment, so we'll be interested to see where KheZu goes if he does indeed just look to try and find what he can from the top lane. As the Soaring, as we saw, he had very good levels. Bottom lane again. Good illuminates from Sin, just causing a lot of annoyance for these supports. Spartan keeps taking the blast to the face.
Yeah, he's out of regen, no bottle charges, so that just kind of frees up that lane a little bit to ensure that Luna can get some safe, reliable farm down there. Will be KheZu TPing up top, so it looks like he feels confident that he can farm against the lifesteal SD lane, which is more than true. They haven't actually got a stun to stop his Timber Chain escape, so he can do more than all right up there.
Thug just trying to do his best at the moment to hold off this push for Koifer and YapzOr coming in onto the mid tier 1.
Some good damage. It doesn't look like they'll get the full tower with this Dragon Form, but you get it down to about roughly a 3rd HP, possibly even lower. And if you bring enough heroes, potentially you could even bring it down, so... Just good pressure from Escape, making sure they're getting value out of their DK ulti form.
He's going to make a bit of a go on to Thug here. He falls low. He's going to be safe for the time being. By maybe next time they'll come in with a Fire Blast. That's enough. Spartan not able to save the OD there. Finem losing Thug.
With Luna, this actually likely is a tier 1 tower. Okay, DK ulti form wears off, so...
Yeah, and look at Sin with these Illuminates. Constantly, arguably just one of the most aggressive calls I've seen in a while. You know, normally you expect them to see them sitting back, maybe dropping out a mana leak, stacking camps at this stage of the game, but Sin is all over the map and just throwing Illuminates
this
all over the place.
This doesn't look good for Escape to hang around too much longer, though. They're not going to get the tower. OD's already respawned. Syndering getting chased down. Has got a TP. He needs to juke in those trees, but it's a very common spot. He's TPing.
No, he's going for the Illuminate again.
He's going for the Illuminate, jeez. Not going to TP. He's going to throw away his life, but...
Oh, he's a madman.
Yeah.
And he is indeed a dead man with the Astro coming through.
Could have gone for the TP, but I imagine he just thought he's dead 100% because SD scouts him with Shadow Poisons. OD has the Banish to cancel it, so not a bad idea just to go for that last bit of damage.
Nicely done there from Koifer and KheZu. Hiding in the trees, getting the Dragon Tail off before there's any chance of a Rage. Bursting down that Lifestealer. Down bottom as well, Eric could be in trouble. Being forced back under the tower by this Iron Shell creep. Falling very low as well. He's getting the courier out to him, so he's got that lifesteal. But Finem sending 3 down here. And maybe seeing what kind of plays they can go for. Era's still on his own behind.
He needs help here ASAP.
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble there, Era. He has got the ult. He does try for it.
He could have gone for a recast, but he was going to die so fast.
I was going to say, it's probably good that Skylark cancelled that for him.
I don't see how that was going to work out well for him. He needed to just get out of that lane sooner. Once you realize this Darkseid's creep skipping the wave, they want to push the tower, he needs to just vacate that lane, either TP out or multiple teammates need TP in. One TP is not enough. You need 3 or 4 heroes ready to fight down there. But Escape is still finding good trades. They've still got the pressure coming top lane. They took the tier 1. They're doing damage to the tier 2. Don't know if they can kill Timbersaw here. It'll be close.
They've got a fair bit of damage, a fair bit of punch with a surged up OD. They will let to continue to chase him down. KheZu trying to get out of here. That's a close one, but with the magical burst from that Astral, and even dropping the wall, I don't know if that was necessary. I think the Astral was enough, and it was on its own. So the wall, maybe just, I don't know, bit of a taunt, BM wall. I mean, why not?
Yeah, I'm not sure if the wall did damage there, if it hits before the astral damage. The wall itself, when you walk into it, does a decent like 100 damage or something, but Sin won't make it.
Poor old Sin.
Rough
I mean,
times.
this game is, yeah, at the moment, a bit all over the place. But both teams seeming to be finding stuff in terms of farm, and no one really falling massively behind in terms of course. Obviously, the mid lane matchup, I guess, that's probably the biggest differentiation. Koifa very much far ahead of the OD.
Yeah. He's found the kills. He's also found towers for his team. He took the tier 1 top tower with the Timber Saw.
Yeah.
The tier 1 mid tower's fallen, so he's really starting to give his team a big boost just through tower gold. That's something that Jacob kind of talked a lot about as far as Escape's lineup advantages, and that's very much the ability to push towers, take objectives, get a gold advantage, and then just try and 5-man and snowball off of that. So I imagine we'll see Escape continue to look to use that DK ulti form where possible to push down objectives. OD is 2,000 net worth behind the DK. That's a huge, huge deficit.
Mech now complete for Skylark as well. So add Finem smoking up, maybe trying to get Thug involved in some more of these fights, so we can kind of get that bit of a cash boost to get him up on par with Koifa. But Escape Gaming, they're smoking up as well.
Yeah, with the mech is like one of their key item timings that they get pretty strong with. Curious to see there. They're going to fight around the Lifestealer, so.
Yeah, Kez in a lot of trouble there. Ad Finem closing in on the Timber Saw. He'll try and get himself away. We'll get the initial chain
Might
off.
actually live. Oh.
Looking to chase it. And yeah, Kezi's fine. He survives the 4-man gank. Meanwhile, Escape Gaming are looking to put pressure onto the tier 2 up on the top lane.
Their smoke doesn't find a kill, but it's going to find the tier 2 tower, and they push way faster than AdFinem do. You can see AdFinem, yeah, they're already TPing back. That TP ill-advised.
It has got the Lifestealer in. And out he jumps, but into the Eclipse. They are going to lose Skylark. One more touch and he's down. Madara trying to chase Era. Illuminate comes through from Sim, but they've already lost 2 on AdFinem. Escape Gaming, they're more than ready to fight this defense that AdFinem had tried to form, but it is not working out. Ends up being an absolute disaster as they just end up feeding 4 kills, and more specifically a triple kill to Koifa, who was already in an amazing place, and now it's even better for the Dragon Knight.
It's an interesting fight because it looks like a really stupid TP initially to me, but then I realized, okay, it's got the Lifestealer Infest, and it's not just a 2v4, it's a 4v4 because they bring in the IO +1, so they relocate in with IO and the OD, so it actually kind of evens the numbers out, but then it's the recall. Cinderin recalls the Timbersaw back up top, so they have numbers up there. Without that Timbersaw, this fight could have been a little more even, but Escape had everyone up there as early as possible. And they also just bursted down the easy to kill heroes first. They kill the Darkseid, then they kill the IO, then after that they worry about the Lifestealer.
Yeah, it just feels just with the iron progression in such a Thug, the damage is not there from Finem in comparison to what Escape Gaming have at this stage with the Luna, with the Aura, and of course the Timbersaw, the fact that Koifa's so far ahead. It's very hard for Finem to take those fights they do love to look for. You know, this is a team that loves to go for any opportunity to find that team fight, but here in this game, because of the sufferings of the laning stage, it's hurting them hard in these mid-game team fights.
They had some sustain, the Darkseid mech, and even just OD having levels like Astral, some good sustain. Shadow Demon has the save, so they have 2 spells that save, or actually 3 with the IO, but no damage output. The OD just doesn't have the items to dish out damage. Even Lifestealer himself is pretty underfarmed at this point. I mean, you look at the net worth, it looks like he's very underfarmed. He hasn't completed an armlet. Trying to take that fight without just an armlet on Lifestealer seems very ill-advised, and that's something where AdFinem really overestimated how strong they were.
There we go. AdFinem again. They want to fight. They really do. They've left the Lifestealer up top.
Oh, DK's got a blink here, so yeah, he'll find one.
Yeah. Easy starts the fight by the looks of it. Spartan will come across for a bit of a save. Defensive disruption onto himself. MNC keeping himself alive. Sabine comes in onto Skylark. Nice blinding light from Cinder and popping Skylark back into the hands of Koifa. Dragon Tail to follow through. Relatively tanky Darkseid, but not tanky enough, as they'll take down Skylark. And again, Escape Gaming with their 3 cores beginning to sail ahead of the 3 cores of AdFinem. This is absolutely fantastic opening for them here in the first 14 minutes. And one that's going to be quite tricky for AdFinem to turn around, it feels, in terms of the heroes they have.
Yeah, they don't farm particularly fast, Lifesteal as well as OD, so if anything, they're looking to take fights to try and turn this one around, fight with the Infest Bombs, find pickoffs. And I think pickoffs is probably the more appropriate approach to take. Like, any kind of team fight is going to be a lost cause with the item advantage we see that Escape have. So if anything, you're trying to find isolated heroes. You see a Cuddle mid by himself, try and find that kill. You've got to try and use Relocate to find these kills.
And they have just used Relocate to bring Thug in, but Escape Gaming ready to fight with the Eclipse, already taken down a second, and now they're just turned. It's going to be a double kill for
nice
Era,
toggles.
possibly the triple now. Kezu's going to steal that one. Madara's tried to come in, but he's the last one left alive. He'll go for the Infest. He is inside Escape Gaming's creep, so they can't do anything about it for the time being. Let's see what the plan is here.
It looks like they may just push. They're like, ah, screw it. The one he's in isn't in front. Let's just hit the tower. Aaron needs to be a little bit careful. He's fairly low here, and with respawns, yeah, Escape actually make a safe call and back off. They win that team fight convincingly. That was 4 for 0. Why push into what could be a tough fight against an Finem team that's about to respawn, and they'll even take some Ancients on their way out.
Yeah, now this stage, Kezu with the Bloodstone complete. It's looking like a tricky one for Finem. They'll drop a Demonic Purge onto Era, but there's not really much of a follow-up. Or a follow-up at all. As Finem need to... they obviously, we've seen in those last 3 engagements, they're the ones that are saying, yes, we're ready to fight, but it feels like they may be just overestimating their capabilities as a team in terms of items and how far the heroes have developed at this stage of the game in comparison to what Escape Gaming have to bring to these fights.
Yeah, it's didn't go well at all. Those last couple of ganks, despite using IO Relocate, they had all the numbers there. They had their whole lineups coming into the engagements. All they've really got is a mech as far as teamfight utility goes, and as far as teamfight damage goes, the items are just non-existent. So they need to just stop taking these poor fights. Finding kills is the way back in this game, but it's not through teamfights. You're behind this much, you've got to find the solo kills. Use the smokes to start a roam around, like smoke with maybe like a Darkseer Shadow Demon or something, and then just have IO Relocate in with an OD, or maybe the Lifestealer smokes with a Darkseer. You've got to find these small ganking units while the rest of your team farm, and then bring in the IO with the +1.
Yes.
They can't look to just keep on trying to brute force their way through Escape. Escape are much stronger than they are.
Again, Finem. They do have 3 members down here on this bottom lane, but you can see Escape Gaming sweeping through their own jungle, seeing if they can catch out any of the members. And they may just do so. They found Spartan, immediately jump in from Koi for the follow-up burst is there. And he's down, and Madara now, of course, he's just there with Scarlet. They'll land a nice vacuum wall onto 4. But again, Escape Gaming, they're already kitted out, ready for that kind of fight. They'll burst down Scarlet on the sidelines. Again, Madara having to hide inside one of Escape Gaming's units. It's just looking a little bit grim for Finem at the moment. It's been a long time since they've found any of the members of Escape Gaming in these fights.
Yeah. They're not wasting time. They just ignore the Infest once again. Madara will pop out, but with a Rage TP, not something...
He's not even going for the... Oh, now he's going for the TP.
Very late.
There's going to be a timing for... No, that timing.
Like, well played by Madara to know that exact timing where the Rage wore off as the TP completed.
First. It's fine. Yeah. Rage lasts for years.
That's like a kind of play I've tried to make before, and then I'll completely fuck it up, and I'm like, oh, whoops, my TP got cancelled. What happened? Like you do it as a Jug too, your Blade Fury TPing. You're like, oh, I won't TP as soon as the Blade Fury starts. I'll wait till the creep wave's dead. Nope, you're dead. Your TP got cancelled. But oh god, just seeing the net worth is just ugly right now between the two teams. 14 Bloodstone charges on a Timbersaw. Kezu's in great shape. Era's the one character that seems to be getting focused down a bit, but even he's out-farming every Finem player. Relocate at mid. Well, speaking of Era's rough time, it continues, I guess.
Yeah, nice little play there from Finem.
That's what they're going to do. Find the solo picks. We've been saying it for a while now. They've got to find the solo pick-offs. That's a 600 gold kill just for one Luna, who's not the top net worth hero by any means.
No.
1,400 gold swing. Easy. Oh, and possibly another kill, but that was the TP cancel.
Yeah, neatly played by Sin. Straight out after the vacuum. No other way that they could stop that. And they do now have what Echo say about from Madara. But over on the side of Escape Gaming, Sin's picked up a smoke. And Japsol now has a 4-staff to help himself in these fights. But Escape Gaming, I mean, we saw obviously back in the qualifiers glimpses of this kind of performance in some of the games where Escape Gaming, if they get the draft right, if they get the laning stage right, they are an incredibly scary lineup to go against.
And their qualifier one was definitely one of the more unlucky ones as far as being a team who'd been playing high-level Dota for a while and just didn't quite win the BO1s they needed to. And one of the things where the format may be just hurting them a bit, and also the fact they've played so many games, they're perhaps just feeling that fatigue a bit. Last time they versed Finem in the TI qualifiers, they're the ones who knocked them out 2-1, so Escape definitely not a team you can ever underestimate.
Oh, and Koifa, he's stunned him up. Taking him down there with the boys on Escape. Spartan going out to the side, but they're not interested in him. They're interested in Madara.
They ping him.
He has got Rage TP, though. Oh. Oh, the BM's stunned.
Doink.
He did call for pause quite before. I think it's evident that Madara's having issues.
He called for the pause, but he could have paused the game. He didn't pause the game. You know?
I mean,
that's not his fight.
If you get the chance to stun him, you're going to stun him.
Look,
I mean,
if the game's not paused and you find the life, they don't know that he's paused because of the life stealer. You know, Koikfa just thinks he's found the life stealer there. And if
I don't blame Koifa. You see the unit, you stun the unit. But I'm saying this could be because Madara, that's a little bit out of character, kind of just goes to the side.
He almost looked like he's AF because he could have rage TP'd long ago.
Yeah, that's the thing.
With an Eclipse, that could be a kill as well.
Yeah, that's the question. Does he actually get out now if he rages after the Dragon Tail stun?
It's probably
they've got a lot of damage, but with Armlet, Koifa, and Era there. So I think it's going to be a hard call.
1600 HP. It's close. Hard to say. I'm not a
turn the Armlet
mathematician.
on,
I'm just a Dota caster.
TP.
Well, I think the way they kill him is if they Eclipse right away and get him before he rages. Like get like a good 3 or 4 beams. They're Eclipsing.
They're Eclipsing. It does it. It does it. So, Escape game, no mercy from these boys.
You got to stun right away. It's one of those things. You're a DK versus Lifestealer. Getting the stun before rage is the way you play.
Yeah. And you're right. Finem could have paused themselves. If it, maybe it wasn't Madara. Maybe that was just Madara making a mistake.
I think it was being polite, saying, let's pause before he actually pauses to give Escape notice that they're about to pause. But who knows who was lagging, who knows what was going on. Either way, Finem lose a key hero at that, and it will be a straightforward Roshan. Yeah, it's still a straightforward Roshan. Don't know what that was.
Well, that was, it was with the ward up there. Yap forced him in. He saw the arm, was like, okay, in you come.
Well played, sir.
Oh dear. All right, well, there you have it.
It looks like the eye was just like flying in himself.
I was like, well, did he just tear the roach yet?
Yeah, they tethered too, so.
Yeah, it didn't.
Nicely played by Yappy.
Yeah.
Gets his team another kill, gets his team a bigger lead, and Escape cruising.
They really are. I mean, it's over 10k net worth. They have Aegis on Era. Very much ready for the next fight. Thug still trying his best to catch up. He's level with Madara, but still very much behind the cause of Escape Gaming. Another couple of fights though, and if Finem are able to swing them in their own favor, they could certainly close that gap. But it's looking hard. As Escape Gaming just a pretty tight performance so far.
And it's always, when you're ahead like this, sometimes the split push can be annoying, but that's where having Coddle recall is very useful. Means you can have a Luna or some hero pushing out a lane, and yeah, they've got to be a little bit worried about getting picked off, but they can always be recalled back to the push. So
yeah,
we've seen Sin use the recall very well this game so far. The fight at top lane where he pulled back in the Timbersaw, he pulls an Era there. Era was just farming the jungle, trying to get some more items up, and able to maintain some level of farm while going for towers. Now he's going to recall in the Timber, it looks like. Just make sure everyone's good and ready to go.
Yeah, maybe with the Aegis they can try for something a little bit more than a tier 2. We'll see how much they want to try and get done. They've got a good duration left on the Elder Dragon form Escape Gaming. I think they're very much ready to take this up onto the tier 3. What is Finem's response going to be? Madara trying to go in with the open wounds. Immediately a defensive Astral onto himself. He was already falling down to half health. They'll drop the wall. Demonic Purge onto Koifa. Koifa taking a serious amount of damage here actually from Madara, falling relatively low. He may be able to arm the toggles to keep himself alive. Looks like he won't need to even do that at the moment. He's able to get himself just far enough away to stop Madara from chomping down on it.
Now the question for Escape is more the sustain if they go for a push. They don't have a mech. They don't have an Acceptor on Coddle. No. That's all the other ML's looking for. He's going for the 4-staff as well, so they don't even have an Urn of Shadows, it looks like, which means just having any kind of sustain for the push is somewhat limited. But Yepster sees the struggles as far as that high ground push goes, and while sustain items are a bit pricey, he just picks up a casual medallion. He can turn this into the Solar Crest. Putting that on the DK when he's pushing high ground can go a long way.
He needs a lot of help.
Has got Aegis,
He
but
does. The
die at
question is
least
if they could
once.
take him down twice. That's once.
They take the one kill and run, I assume, but
They're sticking around
we'll
at Finem. They really want to do it. Madara looking to lead forward, coming in across the tree line. Vacuum actually brings Yapzor in. Rage up on Madara, but Kezu already bursting down Io on the back line. Chakra's going to miss MNT. Thug comes in with a big Sanities to blow up Era, take down a second. In fact, they may get Koifa as well. He'll be astraled up. I think the astral damage itself will kill him, and it will indeed.
Yeah.
That's going to be a triple kill for Thug. Kezu, he'll have to kill himself here. As Ad Finem taking an absolutely perfect fight, giving them the real kicker that they need to bring themselves back up to par with the position that Escape Gaming got themselves into. A 6K gold swing, maybe even more if they can take this tier 2, and a great fight for Thug, getting him a lot of money and bringing him right back into the game on the OD.
yeah, just ballsy play, sticking around, not hesitating to go for that second kill on the Luna. It looked like it kind of, you're so close to the enemy tower there, I feel like the safe play that most teams are going to make is, hey, let's back off. They're by a tower. This is going to turn into a 5v5 fight. We're behind an Iron, it's not going to go well, but I believe Adfinem just kind of recognized that the DK was still really low on HP. He wasn't actually able to fight. He still got recalled into the fight, like on a 5th HP. He was just free food for Adfinem, and Thug got off a really nice ultimate on Luna. Luna, who just doesn't quite have the items to fight, particularly into an OD, not having a BKB, means that he doesn't really match up all too well post-Aegis. He can't just like BKB and fight or BKB ulti. He still had to run, and he couldn't run fast enough.
One more of those fights going that way, and Adfinem will have definitely swung this game back into their hands, as we see just how much of a gap closer that last engagement was. Thug sitting in on 2.8k gold straight up in his pocket at the moment. And that's with a Hurricane Pike complete as well, so Thug looking very, very good for himself. I mean, what do you think he gets now with this influx of gold? What is the item after the Hurricane Pike? Any game where you know, it's 21-10 in 25 minutes, there's a lot of fighting.
I like the Shivers a lot. It's a good AoE slow. It's also good at negating some of the physical damage output of Escape. The Luna and DK just will attack that much slower into the Shivers aura, so it seems like a pretty stable item pickup. It's not, you know, you're going to get some good value out of it. It's not like as big of a game winner as maybe something like a Hex can be. But Hex is also an item where if your OD gets initiated on, you may not get a good chance to use it. So the Shivers to me is like the safe pickup. Something like a Hex is the more kind of higher risk but higher reward item.
Yes. Talking about Shivers, there's one already done now
okay, so
for Skylark.
Maybe
so
not going double Shivers, then now they've got one.
No.
OD perhaps considers something like the Hexes, as said. Blink or a BKB is also possible. Against Timbersaw Luna, BKB is very good too, so.
Madara actually jumping out onto Era here, making a bit of a go with the open wounds of the Rage. Era will manage to start the open wounds off, but the relocate comes in on the backlines. They'll actually turn though, immediately take down Io. Era going in with the Eclipse, looking for Madara, but he jukes it out into the tree line. He's going to get himself out with the TP. So at the moment, Adfinem only to lose the Io. They may be about to lose the OD as well though, as they come in and crush him down. Koifa picking up the double kill. So Adfinem, this time those kind of plays don't pay off, and Escape Gaming just showing us a bit more of what they were able to achieve earlier, just outclassing Adfinem in Adfinim's attempts to find these pickoffs with the relocate.
Feels like there's been a sudden step up in Quickfist damage output, having the level 16 with the Hyperstone. Even more points in Bloodlust now, since he initially went for the Max Ignite. We're just seeing that Bloodlust start to kick in, that he's maxed it out. The DK is becoming a real big carry threat. And the reason he didn't do damage in the last fight is because they were pushing high ground. So he was getting initiated on, he didn't get any attacks off. If Quick was actually attacking in these fights, Escape are having good outcomes.
I mean, if anything, obviously the bit of shining of silver lining to that last fight was the fact that Madara was able to get out in the tree line. And Era was searching for him with that Eclipse. And Madara is able to slip away. Bottom lane, Escape Gaming ready to come in with another bit of a push onto the bottom lane of Adfinem, onto the tier 2. We'll see if Adfinem want to do anything about this. They've got OD back up. Thug ready to join his team if they want to try and fight this. Madara looking to poise himself very aggressively, goes in onto Kezu. Kezu, Timber Chains away, he'll turn towards Yapzor, hit the Echo Saber, slow hit off. So I like jumping in with the Shiva's Guard, vacuums back Yapzor, one touch from Thug and he's down. Thug actually brought the BKB, so great for these fights. Limited amounts that Escape Gaming can do to him. Thug will drop the Sanities, turn towards Kezu, one more touch and Kezu will be out. So it's a 2-for-1 at the moment, double kill for Thug. Koifa with the Dragon Tail onto Skylark, but there we have it, the defensive Astral and Thug and the boys looking to turn it around. Skylark's gonna live. Thug picks up the triple kill. And again, Adfinem, it's this kind of 25 to 30-minute timing where everything seems to come together for the lineup.
Yeah,
the team play comes online.
It's also a bit questionable for Escape to fight without their dragon, you know. It's like Daenerys in Game of Thrones. Let's go into battle without my dragons. Oh, yeah, that's not smart. DK without ulti form there.
Yep.
He's a melee hero. He doesn't have the AoE splash. He doesn't have the cold attack. That is not smart for Escape to pick a fight given those circumstances. Once the fight starts, they have no choice but to take it because Finem have such good chase with the IO relocate, with the Darkseer Surge, the OD's
Vacuum, Shiva's Guard.
He's got Blink and Hurricane Pipe.
Yep.
Well, he didn't have the Blink for that fight, to be fair, but they've got great chase. So that just means that Escape are committed to the fight once it begins, but they shouldn't be in a position where Finem are going. Finem knew that the DK ultimate was down from the fight in the Radiant jungle, so they were more than happy to take that. Without the DK ulti form, Lifestealer just wreaks havoc. Every OD has such a better time. Everyone just, all their heroes were just so much more effective because of that lack of DK ulti form.
Error with 2.2k gold. Blink now for Skylark. But this is, it certainly feels impressive nonetheless to see how Finem just, in the last few fights, kind of consistently getting these triple kills and such for Thug when they were falling behind. You know, Escape Gaming at the start, they're having a pretty brilliant opening to this match. But Finem showing us how much they can do in terms of just working together as a team, even when they are behind in resources. And now Yapzor, he's going to be opened up upon, bursted down. That's the first kill here for Finem. Koifa looking to turn with the BKB, trying to go on MNT, but the Glimmer Cave's there. MNT able to walk it off. And now, well, Thug's just going to start pounding into Koifa. Jumps forward with the Blink. Era coming in for the sidelines with the Eclipse. Kezu under fire. Era trying to man-fight against Madara. Madara trying to go 1v1. He takes it, but he does lose his life. Escape Gaming, though, they've already lost 3. There's still 3 healthy fighting for Finem.
So
4
much
down.
into this OD.
Thug looking to chase down Kezu. Kezu looks like he may just get himself away. But indeed, Thug in these fights, absolutely massive.
Still looking for him, not gonna find.
He's got the Blink again.
OD had about 56 stolen in by the end of that.
Still does.
You can see there how much he managed to do, how strong he was getting those auto attacks off. The Arcane Orb just starting to rack up the damage for him, and Finem get some nice jumps. They really did a great job of just kiting the BKB, and then once it's worn off, they just focus him down. We're getting to that point where the DK's BKB is getting kind of short, and that's definitely a concern and worry for Escape.
Especially against the damage that Thug's doing, as you said. And I think what's really good about this showing so far is that this was a Thug that he was crushed in lane. You know, they were throwing Yapzor, Ogre Magi's at him. He was, I think it was about, I can't remember, before the 10-minute mark, he was over 2,000 gold behind Koifa. But just through the way that these fights have played out, he's been able to pick himself up, get himself right back up there. As you can see, you know, 24 minutes in, Escape Gaming, 14k ahead. Now it's all slipping right back down into the hands of Finem. And yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to see more of Finem coming up in the Boston Major. And it's good to know that this is a team that you can't put them down at the start because they'll always be ready to kick back at you.
Yeah, Finem have had just picked and taken their fights very wisely this game. They've used their 2 save tools and the Banish as well as the Disruption very well. I say they've got a 3rd in the IO, but the IO has been mostly aggressively relocating, but like that's how they kite the DK BKB well. They can Astral whoever he's focusing, they can disrupt them. So the way the SD and OD work together is really nice because if one of them's ever being initiated on, the other can then help them out by putting them under. So Finem have really limited Escape's ability to find kills in these fights, and Escape, they've really got to try and get to that back line, take out the IO fast, take out the SD fast, because those are the squishier, easier kills to get, and they need to take advantage of that.
Here we have Finem, ready to look for those objectives themselves. At the moment, it's been kind of fight, fight, fight. Very much then waiting for Escape Gaming to push. Now they've more than enough got the strength to take down some towers themselves. Tier 1 off the top lane and immediately just moving down for the Tier 2. And earlier the question, of course, was whether Finem could stop the push of Escape Gaming, and now the game kind of turns on its head, and we're going to have to see if Escape Gaming can stop Finem just powering down their lanes at this stage.
Well, that's 2 straight towers. DK is just sitting around that top lane like, team, I'm ready to defend high ground if they go for it, but this is not a fight I can lead on my own, and will we Escape lingering around this bottom lane? They're being pinged out, so they need to be careful not to get caught out here.
I mean, at this pace as well, as the game goes on, Lifestealer, OD up against kind of DK, Luna in terms of cores late game. Is there a favorable side, or can both stand toe-to-toe pretty strong?
Luna's just feeling like a little bit too under-farmed right now. As far as how the cores match up, OD very good against the Dragon Knight. Dragon Knight, though does remain quite relevant late game because of the short cooldown on the Dragon Tail. It has very high uptime, which means you can constantly spam those stuns out. But you're versing Magic Immunity on Lifestealer, OD with a BKB, so BKB usage is going to probably dictate how the fights go. If you pop a BKB on a Dragon Knight or OD, you need to dish out a lot of damage during that duration. So I'd say both lineups can go decently late, but it's going to come down more just to the BKB usage, which it's a lot easier for Adfinem to use theirs because they're not versing Banish, Astral Imprisonment. Adfinem having those spells in the late game gives them, to me, a small edge.
Adfinem, Skylark holding Madara deep inside him.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And ready to go down the mid by the looks of it. Kezu with a point boost looks like he will indeed be opting for the Aghanim's build this game after the Bloodstone Shivas. And it certainly feels like he'll need it, just having that extra wave clear, because it's getting a little bit messy for Escape Gaming. Adfinem looking to clear the final tier 2 off the map from Escape Gaming's side. And Escape Gaming, at the moment, just spamming out the Illuminates. We'll see if they decide to commit any heavier to try and slow this one down. The throw out Blinding Light. Oh, nice force from Yap, so bringing Madara in, but a quick rage to make sure the Dragon Tail isn't there. Tower will fall. More money into the bank of Thug. And Adfinem holding their ground and may even go for more with the Aegis still online on OD.
Yeah, unfortunately the life's still low and not great sustain for them either.
Yep.
And they've got the Darkseer with the mech at least, they've got the IO, but he's got to just use through his bottle charges. It looks like they'll back off, regroup, wait for the OD Hex. And pinging Mystic stuff I think means that his Hex is just about complete.
Yeah, there we have it.
And with the Sheep Stick up, they can now find pickoffs on these heroes with BKB. You can jump the Timbersaw, the DK, the Luna, because you get that insta-hex and take out those BKBs from the equation.
There's an Aghanim's SD to worry about as well, and it makes MNC.
This item just destroys a lot of these heroes. You get rid of the Luna bouncing glaives and bonus damage. You get rid of the Timbersaw passive, at least as far as he gets to keep his Dragon Blood armor. You get to keep your already built up reactive armor, but you don't get any additional ones. So if you use it very early on, he gets no reactive armor. But Luna is probably the most wrecked by this, and DK gets second most wrecked.
Wow, we're going in with on the Eclipse onto the Darkseer. They'll actually take Skylark out of the fight. The Hex from Thug, lock it down Error. They'll take care in quick response. And Adfinem, see if they can find something more. Quaifus coming in from the sidelines, pots the BKB, focusing Madara at the moment with the Dragon Tail. Madara falling low, he's going to be taken down. They've lost 3 on Adfinem. Escape Gaming this time around, finding the fight of their lives here, but the turnaround for Thug. Drops the Sanities, picks up a triple kill.
Oh, he lost
will
Aegis.
go down the Aegis. Oh, it just expired.
That's like your worst nightmare as a carry is to hear, you hear the noise. You hear the dun-dun noise, and it's like,
it's
oh
Satan's
shit.
phone call. It's ringing up. It's like, boom, and then you,
When you're low HP in a team fight and you hear that noise, you know you're in trouble.
Thug.
And that was just Escape finding Adfinem in a very kind of chaotic place where they couldn't position. Darkseer starts off getting picked off. Speaking of picked off, Io gets annihilated.
They haven't got any buybacks apart from the OD.
It was a very strange way to see our first racks go down because it really just happened because Adfinem couldn't position well. Like Shadow Demon got cut off. They didn't get any value out of his Ag Scepter. Now they do,
here comes MNC. Looking to clean up with Thug, gets the Hex down.
Yep.
All right, so they managed to force them out. Does cost them the OD buyback, but they keep the racks alive.
No, it's worth it to save the racks there. Unfortunately, it does hurt OD's item progression a little bit, but he's just completed the Hex, so he's still
he's already so far
where
away.
he needs to be.
Yeah, he's already in a great place, so it's not the worst of things, but yeah, that Aegis timing.
It felt like the fight that Adfinem should win too. They just picked up the SD Aghanim Scepter, which is a big boost in their itemization, but again, Escape just felt like they found finally what they needed in getting a better initiation than Adfinem. Adfinem had been the ones getting the better jump. This time around, no Darkseer in the fight. And also just no SD. They killed the SD pretty quickly afterwards too, so that also helped out a lot.
I mean, I guess you could argue the thing was there, Adfinem had already lost 3, so even if the Aegis hadn't timed out, maybe Escape Gaming could have killed him twice anyway.
Yes. So, it was what, Timber and DK. Yeah, they definitely killed him. Without BKB, they stun him up. Timber has Aghanim Scepter or something. Timber is absolutely huge. So
as unfortunate as it was, maybe it wasn't as that big changing. No. But there we have indeed, Luna, Error. Full, as you said, maybe not where he wants to be in terms of farm on the Luna. Maybe when you see a Luna picked up in this lineup, you'd expect it to be, I mean, for instance, not necessarily behind a lifestealer at this stage. You need him ahead of the lifestealer.
Yeah, they didn't really prioritize Era too much, and Kezu takes a lot of the farm on the map just because he's a Timbersaw, not because he's being greedy or doing badly. Like you see how farmed he is, and you're like, yeah, I'd like my Timbersaw to have that kind of net worth at 38 minutes, but he's pushing out lanes, and that's giving Luna less place to farm. And also when Luna is farming, you have to farm deeper in the map where you're more exposed. So that is, those two are kind of connected as far as it is. I mean, even the DK, that's another hero that wants a lot of farm. There's just not enough farm to go across the board for all three of these cores to have 20k net worth.
Oh, they want to fight out Finem, and they go with a relocate straight onto Era. He pops the BKB, but the damage is too much. And with the demonic purge from MNT, they'll take Era out, down and on the sidelines for a minute.
He did 0 with his right clicks there. There was no bouncing glaives. There was no Luna aura. That was just a little kitten.
It's a man without buyback as well. I believe he did just pick up the talisman from the secret shop.
Yep.
So going in on the purchase, and that's going to mean that buyback is not available for this man. Push in from Finem down the mid lane. We'll see how much they can get away with. We obviously saw Escape Gaming make an attempt earlier for the racks. Wasn't successful. See if Finem have a bit more better luck still. And of course the second demonic purge up and available for MNT. He's nearly going to have the second charge on top of that as well in a second. BKB is done for Kezu. So Kezu, he's got a lot of items. He's in a great place. We'll see if it's going to be enough, though, to stop these kind of pushes. Madara, maybe I'm thinking about manning up. Kezu will jump forward. Not going to hit any of his spells, though, to turn around. And Madara goes in with the open wounds. Nice vacuum onto 2, but immediately out, forcing himself out. Kezu pops the BKB, looking to turn onto Skylark. Chakram comes out, hit the slow, onto Thugger Spartan on the back of it, and looks to be enough to scare Finem off. So they will manage to hold the base. As we're seeing, of course, Kezu at this stage can kind of roll around on the front lines. Very hard for Finem to control and take down this Timbersaw at the mass that Kezu has assumed.
He's that scary frontliner that Finem just can't really easily deal with right now. The OD theoretically can, but you don't want to be engaging into the front lines too much as an OD. It's kind of a scary proposition with your BKB getting kind of shorter and shorter as the game goes on. The DK stun, the Eclipse. Luna was just about to respawn when Finem backed off. They were really respecting that Luna respawn when they didn't force the issue going for the racks. They're happy just with a tier 3 tower for now.
Escape Gaming actually smoked up. See if they do find anything there. It's going to come off. They will reveal themselves at least in terms of suspending the smoke. And the question is if Finem want to come out and try and find them. They're staying behind their racks on the mid lane at the moment.
They've actually got the Solar Crest to go with the Talisman of Evasion, so they're really trying to capitalize on OD and Lifesteal are not wanting to build MKBs. Neither hero naturally builds in. I mean, OD doesn't build into it at all. Lifestealer can, but it's not really ideal. I'm to have to buy as a Lifestealer. OD more likely to build something like a Bloodthorn.
Oh, hello. They're ready for this one. Immediately jumping in onto the Darkseer. Defensive disruption coming through, keeping Skylark alive, and with the Lotus Storm, he's going to be fine again, the defensive Astral, and that's allowing them to just move in. Thug drops the Sanity, but Kezu comes through massive amounts of damage as he bursts down the SD, turns towards Spartan. Spartan able to get himself away, but it doesn't matter, he still ticks out. They've lost 2. Finem is going to buy back on those, but Escape Gaming, they've got the bigger casualties at the moment. 3 down, 2 at the cores, Quake for an error, dead at the moment, no buyback available, and with these buybacks, Finem know they can go for something big. Yap, so try for the TP out, is it going to make it? Thug gets the touch in, a 4th down on Escape Gaming. Kezu trying to escape. Looks like he'll get himself away, but he's kind of got to hold the fort at the moment. Whilst Finem with the full lineup back up due to those buybacks. And Escape Gaming, they have a buyback available on Era, but Koifa, Yapso, and Sin are going to have to watch this siege from the sidelines.
Yeah, and even with like a Koik for respawn in 30 seconds, he'll be respawning without the dragon form, so not going to be easy for him to even offer much until that cooldown comes back up. And Kezu is kind of on his own at this point as far as fighting and defending goes. He's looking like a
fighting through backdoor protection to jump in. Hex onto Kezu, the man that's been pretty much unkillable, is just going to be ripped to shreds just like that.
Oh, 5v1 will do that for him, and looking like it should be a Rax, but possible buyback from Timbersaw could repel Finem.
Madara seeing if he can find Cinder, and if he can get a lock onto it. Trying to take the attention away from the mid lane. Maybe let his team go back in, but in fact, the team want to fight. Jump in with the vacuum. Hex up onto Era. Era's taken down again, down for 70 seconds. Koifa, he'll be turned upon as well. Now with a break, just the Dragon's Blood gone. So much damage coming out of him. Again, the second demonic purge onto Yapso, holding him at the sidelines, but Madara, he's got to turn his attention towards Kezu. Kezu trying to go with the BKB, but the Abyssal Blade holds him back. Lifestealer chunking down onto him. Kezu turning across. He's looking to try and finish off Thug. Thug taking a couple of chakras to the face, but the defensive Astral is there. Kezu starting to fall relatively low. And again, the vacuum from Skylark onto 3. Kezu timid chains across Thug. He's going to survive though. Escape Gaming will lose a third. And Finem turn their attentions back towards the objectives. Only Sind and Yapso left alive, and that's only for the time being because Madara comes in. First hit bash, a good fire blast with the triple multicast holds Madara back. As Yapso will save Sind's life.
That OD was just so low, Kezu's trying to kill him. He astrals himself into disruption on himself, into another potential astral. He's just got unlimited save between these two spells. The astral cooldown combined with the disruption while it's on cooldown means that he's like permanently banished, and Finem, they've been behind in gold for most of the game, have found a way to break through the racks. They'll probably end up on top in terms of net worth, but it has been a somewhat uphill battle for them, but they've managed to turn this game around and looks like take the win here. Mega Creep's very close to being acquired, and Escape have to come up with a miraculous team fight.
Trying to go on to Madara, but there's a relocate from Spartan, ready to come in and help the boy. 3-man vacuum again from Skylark. Hughes, Standard Season Clips coming in. Koifa will try and turn, control Thug, and they'll actually manage to take him down. He's down for 107 seconds. Of course, no buyback available. Koifa moving in onto Skylark. Can they finish off something else here? Escape Gaming again with a multicast. Yapso getting lucky. It's all just skill. Takes down the Darks here.
Can SD escape?
And then see, with that newly found
They
point,
can't
looks
afford
like
to lose him. He has no buyback. If he dies, the potential escape 5-man push mid could be devastating, but doesn't look like they'll catch Shadow Demon.
Yep.
And Odie's buyback has come back up just soon enough. It was the supports, the SD and the I, who'd used their buyback, so those were the precious heroes to try and keep alive, and they did manage to not go down there in the end. So Escape, not even attempting a push mid to force those buyback. It seems they're just happy to have kept themselves in this game by protecting their last final lane of racks in the top lane.
It's, well, you said you want a loss of fighting. We're certainly getting it, it feels like at the moment. Both teams going all out on these engagements. Sin has to be a little bit careful here, as Madara, he'll be happy trying to find this. The question is if they can actually punish Madara for coming this far down the lane.
That's a rage. Can they go on him with the Luna? There's an IO relocated. It's so dangerous.
Oh, okay, he leaves the creep alive.
Cheeky.
He's a smart man.
That's
and yeah, nothing that Escape Gaming could do about that, apart from follow the creep down if they want to try and go on it. But indeed, worried that there may be backup from Finem there in time. Now Finem's going to have the full team back up in 10 seconds with Thug returning to the map. And Madara now has that MKB available, so Solar Crest, Butterfly, Blinding Light, not going to be an issue anymore for this Lifestealer.
Yep. It's good life for him for this upcoming team fight. And at Finem, with 4 racks advantage, they can play it safe and slow, wait for Roshan. It is up now, but perhaps waiting to see what Escape do, whether they're defending their other lanes or going to try and take it a fight around the pit themselves.
This is what Finem doing.
Scout illusions, I guess, and play it safe. Find Escape on the map first. Get all the information you can. They've got Disruptors illusions. They scout out probably the enemy jungle, probably around the pit. Just get the intel and then use that intel to decide whether you take Roche yourself.
They're jumping in and going straight for Roche. Kezu's actually TP'd out of this one to clear out the mid lane, so they won't have Timber for this. Yeah, sorry, yeah, you are correct, yeah. But it's, whatever happens, it's too late. Finem just ripped Roshan to pieces. And the rest of Escape Gaming trying to get themselves out. Yapso immediately with the TP. But again, Finem finding the objectives, and Escape Gaming just seeming to be a step behind at this stage.
Yeah, Escape just weren't ready for how fast Finem killed Roche there. It looked like they just hugged the cliff to get into the pit. Even though there's that Radiant Ward at the bottom rune spot, it felt like just Escape didn't really recognize what was going on, or at least didn't feel confident to fight it. And now they're fighting into an Aegis to try and defend their last lane of racks. That is a daunting task for this team.
Kezu. He is actually the focus at the moment from from Finem, sorry. He's hiding in the trees. Try and jump forward and find him, but he easily just blinked. Spots is out. Finem will just work this lane back over onto the side of Escape Gaming's map. Escape Gaming smoked up and ready for action. We'll be fighting into an Aegis though, so quite a ballsy play potentially here coming out from Escape Gaming, and
they probably feel like
it pays off.
Yeah, they have to catch him by surprise when they're not ready or positioned right. They want to catch the SD ideally. He's the biggest problem here in the fights with the Ag's break, as well as the disruption save. So they're going to be looking for him. Unfortunately, it looks like his positioning in those trees on the left side is going to be very difficult to get to.
First,
that's also good.
Yeah, that's the eye out of the fight. Skylark comes in though with the 3-man vacuum, drops the wall as well. MNC coming in from the backlines. One demonic purge down onto Quaifa. Quaifa trying to bring down Skylark. The Eclipse will help out. They'll take down Darkseer once, but he's the man with the Aegis. He's back for round 2. Thug astraling himself, taking massive amounts of damage from Era, but the Abyssal Blade down onto the Luda Era, toggling away with the Mantle Style, tries to turn, but the bashes are real from Madara. A third to be dropped on the side of Escape Gaming. Finem did end up losing both supports and the Life Stealer. Quaifa at the moment actually having to hang back. He does not have a TP, so he's actually got to walk his way back to base. No buyback on Yaps or Sind or Era, so the racks are open for business as Finem compiling down this top lane. The jump in is there. Hexed up, Kezu trying to timber a chain away, but the bash comes through. Finem to take another, and with Escape Gaming being Mega Creep now at this stage, it could pretty much all be over here in game 1. As Finem hitting hard. Escape Gaming looking to keep themselves in this and may try for one final fight, but already the tier 4's under siege. There's no holding back for Finem now.
Yeah, this is almost surely it. The Luna just doesn't have the items to turn around a game like this. The DK as well is just down to that 5-second BKB, and they're being picked apart one by one. Escape falling as they try and defend their high ground. They had such a good start. They had such a solid lead off of all the towers they were taking. It was like a 12, 13k gold lead at one point. But a couple of bad fights, fighting when they didn't have certain ultimates, has really cost them.
They're stunned up Madara in the fountain. Can he actually get his way now? He's down. Here we go, baby. A bit of a attempt to the comeback hit. Jesus eating though. Thugs back up to full health. His turnaround, drop the Hex, the wall again, and that will be quite for down. Has a buyback though. They're focusing on Yaps. So Kezu coming in with a BKB, drops the 2 chakrams. Spartan tethers himself across them. MNC's in trouble. He's got to be defensively astral. Madara's come back through the damage. Too much though for Escape Gaming. Era with the Eclipse trying to turn this, but again, the bash from Madara. Can Era do it? He's on to Thug. He's actually pulling through him. He's actually managed to survive, but finally falls. I mean, you've got to give Escape Gaming credit. They are fighting to the last moment as the creeps will finally finish up the Ancient. Finem to take the victory. But both teams going all out there. A bit of a spectacle, but at the end of the day, I think it's just impressive to see Finem really swing it round. They had a bit of a tough opening to the game, but at the end of the day, their team fight and coordination, just that little step ahead of that of Escape's Gaming.
Yeah, absolutely. They found and picked their moments. They really showed why they are the team that took that Boston Major qualifier spot, because they're playing 12k gold behind. They're looking like they're in a spot where most teams are just going to lose. I mean, top 3 net worth heroes all on the Radiant side. All heroes that are going to scale well into the late game, like DK, Luna, Timbersaw. No scaling problems there. The way you lose is by having those team fights be won by Finem. But Finem found their moments. They got some really good jumps. They used the global capabilities of the IO very well. With the relocate, they just made all the right plays in the mid to late game.
Absolutely, very impressive stuff. And Thug OD, at the end of the day, 25-8-7. A beautiful game for an OD. And an OD, as I said, that was falling behind at the start, at the beginning. Very much behind Quake's farm on the DK, but he pulls it through with the help of his teammates. And indeed, Finem take game 1. We'll see if Escape Gaming are able to bring out an equalizer, or if Finem are going to take that second one again in the second matchup, which will be right around the corner. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll hop over to a short ad break, then back to the panel, and then back for game 2 between Finem and Escape Gaming. We'll see you in a minute here at the ASUS ROG Dream League.